All right, let's go. San Francisco 49ers 30, Los Angeles Rams 23. The Rams kick a late field goal to cover. What, Sam? What's going on?
The bettors want, the DGens want Sean McVay investigated over that.
Ridiculous. He's like, if we kick the field goal fast enough, we'll be able to get the onside kick and then throw it. Like, no.
But it was only when there 4 seconds on the clock.
Yes, of course. The game's over.
Yeah, it wasn't even a situation where you're like, there'll be a second left and they'll get the ball back and have a chance for a hail, whatever. No, that was ending the game. Unquestionably. That was
one of those when I was in college. I think it was one of those Monday night games when Al was doing the game and a team lines up for a field goal when they absolutely should have been throwing a Hail Mary or something. And Al was like, this is an interesting decision here to take the 3. I mean,
look,
anyway.
We joke around about it, but this is a serious thing that this whole gambling world and the NFL being in bed with it opens up. I mean, there was a reason the NFL for decades wanted to stay as far as humanly possible away from any gambling reference, let alone connection. Because this kind of stuff is going to show up, and everybody who has bet money on this game is going to go, what the hell is this? This makes no sense in terms of winning and losing this game. The only thing this does is impact a bunch of people that bet money on it in one direction or the other. At the very minimum, that's a question that's going to get asked.
So other than that, it was a pretty fun game. The Rams hung tough, and look, week 1, we saw the Rams win. It took an otherworldly performance by Matthew Stafford, right? That I always rave about. The couple times a year, Matthew Stafford hitting tight window throws, and I wonder if that's just what the Rams are going to be this year. I mean, we'll talk about Puka Nacua in a minute, setting the rookie record, or the record for most catches by a rookie in a game, and also by a player in his first 2 games, but. It's like Matthew Stafford. It's like a Detroit Matthew Stafford team, isn't it, Sam? Like, if he plays superhuman, they're tough. And he did for the first half plus, right? I was raving about him on Twitter. Yeah. And then has an interception in the comeback attempt, and things fall apart a little bit. But I think that's the Rams. They were always going to be the underdog here, and Stafford just can't play at that level all the time. And on the other side, this was the Deebo Samuel game. Last week, it was Brandon Ayuk and Christian McCaffrey. This week, McCaffrey has his 116 yards on the ground, including a 51-yarder. Deebo Samuel, it was his time to shine as the do-it-all playmaker. You never know who it's going to be every week for the Niners.
Yeah, I mean, remember last week, the takeaway coming out of that 49ers-Steelers game, for me at least, was I was way too low on San Francisco going into the season. They are, for real, they are where everybody else had them in terms of penciling back in for the NFC title game. They're a contender again. It's sort of TBD what that means for Pittsburgh, but the 49ers are legit. The fact that the Rams were able to hang as close as they were in this game, which, 7 points is probably fair in terms, it was a 1-score game to the 49ers. And the 49ers had to pull out, quite a few significant plays in key moments for that to be the case, right? Just before the half, they didn't settle for a field goal. They went for a touchdown, sneaked it in, got a score on the board. That's a big play. Isaiah Oliver had multiple really key plays in this game. Knifed into the backfield on 4th and 1 to basically end it, late on before the Rams got their consolation score. But it took a bunch of really important key plays for the 49ers to get a 1-score win against this Rams team. So again, my takeaway is the 49ers are legit, but this is an impressive game for the Rams to run them as close as they were over the course of 60 minutes.
Yeah. Also in a they were rushing pretty well. They were handling the Rams offensive line that we've had question marks about. So I'm impressed by the Rams keeping things close, but the Niners do feel like that team that is they're just too good. Brock Purdy did the distributing thing. Again, I don't think the grade's going to be great. He just gets the ball, throw it up to Juwan Jennings for a big play. The Niners are so good, you're not going to be able to judge their playmakers by their stats, I don't think, at the end of the year. Because George Kittle might not have that many catches this year.
Yeah.
But one week he'll have 10 or 12. And every single week it'll be someone new who's difficult to cover, or the game plan makes sense, or is going to run the ball like Debo, or whatever it might be. And that's the Niners right now, plus a very good defense. But I got to hand it to Stafford for carrying the Rams this far. Puka Nacua stepping up in the Cooper Kupp role. Tutu Atwell looking far more useful than he did in his first couple of years. The Rams are going to be at least fun here.
Yeah, and the other important part of that is, we've said for years this Rams offense basically goes as the offensive line goes. And in week 1, their offensive line played really well. And if you're looking at that, you're like, see, fits the template perfectly. This week, the offensive line actually kind of got its ass kicked. They only gave up 1 sack, but they gave up a ton of pressure. All 5 starters on the group might end up with in fact, 6 if you add the fact that they had guards, 2 guys split time at one of the guard positions. So all 6 members of the offensive line could end up with a pass blocking grade in the 30s. I mean, if you were told that heading into any Rams game, you would be like, offense gets nothing done. They get blown out.
Lions. I'm telling you, it's the Lions Stafford type of team right now. But like young and fun.
Right. But instead, they actually did have success. Stafford looked fantastic. The receivers did make some plays. Even their run game made a couple plays. Like, they got some stuff done despite that offensive line against the 49ers, who we know are really good. So it wasn't enough, but I came out of this game more encouraged by the Rams again, 2 weeks in a row than I was anything else.
We should try to go see them next Monday night in person. We should do that.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm with you too. But Niners move to 2-0 here, 30-23 win over the Rams. We got a lot of people on YouTube here. Appreciate you joining us live on a Monday morning. Join us every week live on a Monday.
Did you see
hit that thumb? I'm trying to tell people to smash the thumbs up here, Sam. Don't interrupt.
People don't.
When I'm telling people the thumbs up is not matching the people in the chat. So we'd appreciate if you do that. Now you can go. Sorry.
You need a better shtick. People don't respond to being told to smash the thumbs up button. Apparently, they don't do it.
What would you say? What would you say to them right now?
You need a better shtick. I don't have one for you. I'm telling you, you just need a better one.
Okay.
Did you see George Kittle accidentally kneeing the ball to McCaffrey and turning what wasn't supposed to be one into a direct running back snap?
Did not see that play.
He was Kittle was in motion before the snap, and the timing got screwed up. So the ball got snapped, and he just kneed it on the way by. So McCaffrey, who was offset to the left, the ball ends up just getting kneed into his hands. It's like, just has to run forward for a couple of yards. But that could have been catastrophic. It ends up bouncing in their direction. Brock Purdy also had a couple of they reminded me a bit of Jimmy Garoppolo's Super Bowl. Remember, the deep pass just too far out of the reach, and that's the game? Purdy had a couple of deep targets.
Ayuk on one, right?
Yeah, he had a couple of deep targets that he overthrew, either one of which, could have been a big problem in this game. Ends up it didn't matter, but that was a blow. What about, so there's multiple records that Puka Nacua has now set.
Yeah, so it's most catches through 2 games.
Yeah.
And then 15 catches in 1 game, rookie record, I believe, right?
Right. And he's the only receiver in NFL history to start their career with at least 10 receptions in – was it 10 receptions in their first 2 games? Schefter had a tweet that he's the first player in NFL history with at least 10 receptions and 100 receiving yards in each of his first 2 games, and the 5th player in NFL history with at least 10 catches and 100 yards in each of his team's first 2 games of a season – joining, this is an interesting list, Miles Austin, 2010, Isaac Bruce in 1998, Cooper Kupp in 2022, and Andre Bad Moon Rison in 1994. It's a pretty good list, to be honest.
Fascinating list there. Who was it? Well, Puka, I was trying to think of something. Puka was, the first one you said, Miles Austin. He was really good for a period of time.
Yeah.
For Dallas. Puka was on my sleeper list back in our receiver rankings.
Right.
Remember that?
Yeah.
You got to pull up that graphic.